Let's go to the latest now on Diddy. Sean Combs to the racketeering and sex trafficking trial. So there's been a lot going on here because the judge who's overseeing this federal case decided to push the jury selection to Monday. We thought it would be wrapped up today, but they say the fear was that you're going to get a number of jurors getting cold feet if they get selected before the weekends. One in particular we know who had just that, the cold feet. Misty Marris joins us, trial attorney, legal analyst. No cold feet from Misty. This is juror 295 who sent an email. And this person no longer wanted to participate in the trial. That's what we're talking about with cold feet. So both sides said, all right, government and defense, as you see there, agreed to strike. So this, what do you make of how this has kind of developed?
Yeah, so really thought that the jury would be seated today, but this is really a logistical concern, Connell, because what the judge is saying, and an agreement with both the defense and the prosecution, is that you give people a little time to really think about the gravity of sitting on the jury for Diddy and how big this case is, how much publicity this case has, what types of things they're going to see in the courtroom, which they really got a preview of from the voir dire process. And instead of having them linger in those thoughts over the weekend, it would be better to seat them on Monday and get the trial underway so everything will start that week. It's kind of like that time to reflect could give people pause as far as wanting to continue on this jury in this high-profile case.
Yeah, boy, it's yeah, I could see how people would have second thoughts about wanting to be on a jury like this, and as you say, high profile, to put it mildly. So once we get to Monday, we have the witnesses that are supposed to testify, the first three in the Diddy trial. So we can put that up. So here we go. First, we've been told will be a male escort. I don't think we know who. But the second witness, we don't know who it's going to be at all. Laura Ingle, who's been reporting on the trial, was telling me last hour that they've said that that person won't be on the stand very long. It's going to be short. But then Cassie Ventura's on there as the third witness. How about the way this might get underway and what we can expect at the beginning of the trial?
So I'm not shocked to see that Cassie is witness number 3, and that's because when logistics were being spoken about this week and the first couple of witnesses, they said witness number 3 was going to take up the majority of the week. Remember, Cassie is with Diddy in a relationship with him over the course of a decade. So she's a critical witness, not just because she appears in that video, not just because of their relationship, but because she's really central to the arguments about sex trafficking. She's somebody who's going to have to explain to the jury about that force, fraud, and coercion that was done in order to get people to comply. That's the central part of the types of charges that we're hearing. Now, witness number 1. There had been reports that this was somebody who was going to testify. We don't know the individual's names, but what we know, what's being reported, is that this individual is seen on the tapes, and this individual is going to be critical to that third charge, which is that he brought prostitutes over state lines for the purpose of engaging in prostitution. So that individual should be central to that part of the charges. All
this getting underway next week. I'd like to call a little bit of an audible now, Misty, I know, and for everyone in the control room too, and go back to that Ras Baraka arrest for a moment, because I know you well enough, Misty, that if you don't know the answer, you just tell me that you don't know. So I'm comfortable at least asking for your reaction to this breaking news. So the mayor of the city of Newark gets arrested, okay, at a federal detention center. And there's not a ton we know, but from what we do know, it was kind of interesting to me because I was having a conversation with Congressman Henry Cuellar, a Democrat from Texas, and worked on immigration for years. And he brought up the fact that you got a bunch of members of Congress there, federal officials, and he said that the way the law's written, they could have more access to a federal facility than a local official. And I wonder if you know anything about that, or maybe or have any other reaction to this arrest, because this is going to turn into a big political deal, no doubt.
Absolutely going to turn into a big political deal. And that's absolutely right that when you're talking about a federal official, there's different rules that apply. So here, what I would expect to see next that's going to give us some insight into the types of arguments that will be raised is the challenges to his detention. Remember, he's arrested and detained. So that's going to be the next step. And I'm sure the fact that he is a federal official is going to be a part of that argument in seeking his release.
Okay, Misty, thanks as always. You're always ready for whatever we throw at you. And that was the breaking news. And of course, Diddy, we're on to next week. We'll see you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.